if you are potentially interested in the new Apple iPhone Fold, we got news on that, the production, what's going on with that, and then some iPhone news and iPad news. But let's jump in to the iPhone Fold. So, Apple's upcoming iPhone Fold. This has been a long time coming. You got word this week, and we didn't talk about it, but we got word this week that Apple CEO Tim Cook is going to step down in 2026, and maybe we'll do a video or story on it. And they're eyeing a new, younger CEO, a little more, vibrant, a little more bringing new blood to the Apple ecosystem. You're going to see a lot of changes. So when Tim Cook steps down, that's when you're going to see a lot of different new products coming out. That's when Apple's going to implement this new Google Gemini AI backing up Siri. You're going to see a lot of stuff really starting to change. Apple's kind of been at a, let's face it, a slow snail pace as far as stuff that's going on, right? Up until this year, the iPhone hadn't changed in like 5-6 years. I mean, just kind of bland, right? Well, that's all changing because you're seeing this new Apple iPhone Fold is going to launch to the market not this year, next year, 2026, excuse me. So this has been a long time coming. You don't just say, let's put a foldable out and let's make it have a zero crease. Yeah, that's the only thing I don't like about the Samsung Galaxy Fold. Man, it's a nice device, but Jesus, I hate that crease. Well, let's put one out that doesn't have a crease next year. It doesn't just happen like that. This has been an idea probably since the very first foldable came out for Samsung, because Samsung's probably Apple's number one competitor. And you're always looking to see what your competitor's doing. You want to see how you can take some shine away and or take some market share away from them. So this has been on the radar for Apple for years. And this new iPhone Fold has apparently gotten the green light. And the only thing that they were waiting on, well, I'm going to take that back. Not the only thing, but is that crease that I mentioned. So that crease is very, very hard to get rid of. Samsung is on the 7th generation of a foldable, and there's still a slight crease. Now, to Samsung's credit, it has gotten smaller. They seem to reduce it a little bit every year for the past 7 years, but they haven't gotten to the point where they have a completely crease-free flat display, meaning when you open it up, even though it may just slightly be there, you can still see it in the light, right? So if you have a glare, you can see, oh shoot, those are creased. Now, if you've ever used a foldable, at least for me, I can't speak for everybody, I get used to it, and I think most people do, especially the newer ones. The crease is significantly smaller, but it's still there. So Apple executive did not want to release a foldable until they figured out a way to implement a crease-free design, a crease-free display, meaning when you open it up, it's completely flat, no little divot in the middle where it folds up. And by God, they did it. They did it. It took them about almost 4 years to do. So this is about 3 years in the making, and they got it. In fact, they patented this new hinge that apparently is what produces this crease-free display. It's a new hinge, it's a new style, it's a new design, all new technology hinge, and they've actually patented this hinge. So Samsung can't take that hinge. Samsung can't buy one of these iPhone Folds when it comes out, tear it apart, break it down, see how they did it, and then reproduce that. No, they'll get sued. OnePlus, the same thing. Any other company that wants to make a foldable will have to reach out to Apple, and it'll be up to Apple if they want to let them use their competitors use it or not. And I think we already know that answer. A big fat no. Hell no. But this is cool. So this is one thing they can brag about. And it is a huge accomplishment, as I mentioned. Foldables have been coming out for 7 or 8 years, and nobody's been able to figure it out. And by God, on Apple's very first foldable, they did it. So Y'all know I like to troll Apple a lot. I like to shit on Apple a lot, but you do have to give them praise when they do something right. And I think this is a phenomenal feat that nobody else has been able to um, accomplish, right? So the iPhone Fold's crease-free design, this milestone was reportedly achieved by Apple. Now the device is moving into engineer validation mode and pre-mass production phases. So what does that mean? That means that Apple, when you launch a device, they make a few number of devices, hand them out to, if they want to make like this fold, they'll narrow it down to like 3 or 4 kind of production types, and then hand them out to people in the executive room. Right here, go home, don't take any, obviously don't take any photos, we don't want this to leak, but take these home, play with them for a week, come back at our meeting next week and tell me what you like, what you don't like. These meetings go on every day, every week, every month, and it's just narrowing it down to the best product to present to your consumer. Well, they've got that crease solved, and apparently they've got a production unit that they want to move forward with. So pre-mass production phases, meaning now that they've narrowed it down to one design out of like maybe 4 or 5 tweaks of a similar design, they've narrowed it down to one design. So what they're going to do is they're not going to mass produce, they're going to produce maybe 100, 200, 300, and with that one design, pass those out to everybody, and then they will use them for, I don't know, a month or so. And throughout that month, they at their meetings within that month, they'll discuss what they like, what they don't like. Hey, can we move this volume button up, just a little bit? I don't like the finger placement. Hey, can you possibly make that speaker a little louder? It seems a little dull. Stuff like that, where you tweak it, and then they meet with the engineers. Hey, so-and-so was asking, and we all agree at the board meeting, we would like to see that volume button up 2 millimeters, right? The placement's not right. Or, hey, could we talk to the engineering team? This speaker's not good. Can we talk to a supplier, see if we can get a new speaker module in there? Stuff like that. So this is a go. This is a green light. And this is good news if you want to get one, because they're going to sell an iPhone Fold. So Apple and its engineers have sought various methods and techniques to make the iPhone Fold stand out as competition. And in this latest report, that's going to be the crease-free design. Apple is going to market this like crazy. And if you're interested in this, you may be willing to shell out a little extra money. But the technology titan that Apple is, I mentioned that hinge that they patented, was developed with high strength components made of liquid metal. What that means, I have no idea, but this material has an extremely high tolerance and durability, making it ideal use for the upcoming foldable Apple flagship. So moving on to price, we're getting a little word on how much is this going to cost, right? Probably going to be expensive, but I want you to check out this article and you might be shocked. Apple iPhone Fold debuting at 2 times the price of an iPhone 17 Pro Max. Holy crap. 2 times the price of an iPhone 17 Max. So the Apple iPhone Fold is set to retail $2,400. Yikes. $2,400. Now, if you're saying to yourself, I'm going to get this thing, this is going to be badass, I cannot wait, let me just put, and you can afford it, hey, that's your choice. If you can, it's all good. But I personally stay away from brand new devices, brand new SKUs, brand new models, because there's always 1 or 2 things that seems to pop up that they didn't think of or they didn't test enough, that becomes an issue. I typically am okay in always buying like a second generation of something, because with the second gen, it always seems like they always fix the one or two major customer complaints from the very first version, like the iPhone, like what was it with the Air? What do people say? It's only got one camera, the speaker's really low, the speaker sucks, right? Well, with the iPhone Air 2, they're gonna put, guess what? Another camera and a better speaker in it, right? We got word of that last week. So that's what I mean. Like, just be wary. I'm not saying it's not going to be a cool device. I'm sure it will be, but just, know that when you go into buying this device, that there may be one or two things that, they overlook, goes over their head, that may not be up to customers' standards and or satisfaction, right? So I'm sure this will be badass, and look, they always got a return window, but I just want to tell everybody, if this is your first time, I know there's going to be a lot of Apple people buying this because they've never had a foldable. They don't want to, have a Samsung and buy a flip or a fold from Samsung. They just stick in Apple. I just want to tell you this. If you get this foldable, it is a must. I don't even think twice about insurance when I buy a phone. Some of my devices, I do have insurance. Some of them I don't. The ones I use on a daily basis, I do have insurance on. The ones I don't use on a daily basis, I don't have insurance on. However, if you get a foldable, if you get this Apple iPhone Fold, I'm telling you, you're going to kick yourself and you're going to say, damn it, Taylor over at eSIM Studios was correct. You absolutely have to get insurance, because these things break very easily. And I don't want you to buy this, say, I'm not going to need insurance, or insurance is too expensive, I don't need that. No. You need to include that cost, the insurance cost, with the purchase of this phone. I've had two that I've had to fall back on the insurance with, and it's a lifesaver, and they're very delicate. Very, very delicate. I'm not going to go through my stories, but one fell 18 inches and the screen busted, and the other one, I can't remember. One of my cats with their nails on the inside of the display, not on the outside, because on the outside it's glass, but on the inside of the display, when you open it up, it's like a plastic, right? It's not glass, it's not foldable glass, so it's plastic. One of their nails, their sharp nails, got on it just barely touched the screen, and it put a hole in the screen. I'm like, what the freak? It's plastic. So you need insurance. Trust me, especially you got kids, cats, pets, you need it. If you don't live in a cotton house full of cotton and cotton balls, which, wink wink, nobody does, you're going to need insurance. So it's a must. Now, I want to move into, look at this. So the iPhone Fold is going to launch with the iPhone 18 series. Now, I told y'all last week that Apple is going to shuffle around their devices and when they launch them. So this iPhone Fold is going to launch with the iPhone 18 Pro and 18 Pro Max. And then later in the year, they're going to release the iPhone 18, iPhone 18e, and iPhone 18 Air or Air 2 later in the year. So when this iPhone Fold launches, you're going to get the 18 Pro and 18 Pro Max with the Fold. Now, here are the key details that you will see in the majority of these iPhone 18 series. These are going to be the first phones, and I'm assuming Apple's going to put the brand new chipset, the A20 Bionic A20 CPU, in the 18 Pro and Pro Max, as well as the iPhone Fold. So you're going to get they're going to be 2 nanometer chipsets. You're going to get variable aperture zoom capabilities. You're going to get slightly tweaked design. It's basically the 18 Pro and 18 Pro Max are going to look similar to the 17 Pro and 17 Pro Max, just slightly tweaked. That's what they do every year, right? So it'll basically look like the last gen. You're going to get a thicker chassis, meaning the device is going to be thicker because they're going to put a bigger vapor chamber in there, and they're going to put slightly larger batteries in there. They're also going to put in there the new modem. So Apple's newest modem, I guess it's their second gen of their modem, because their first gen modem is in the iPhone Air. Well, this new modem, the C2 modem, is going to support millimeter wave 5G networks, and that will be apparently it's going to be in the all iPhones moving forward. So not just the Air next year. Your iPhone 18 series, your 18 Pro, Pro Max, and iPhone Fold are going to have Apple's new C2 5G modem. Now this will have millimeter wave support. So you will see those here coming out shortly. Very interesting. And here's the lineup. You'll see the iPhone Fold looks similar to a S26. You'll get the standard, you'll get the, I don't know why they put these stupid designs on here. Those are the old school designs, and then you'll get the iPhone Fold. And it's not starting at $1099. We just went over the price. It's starting at $2,400. So I don't know why they put this I don't know why they put this up here. It's just not correct, but interesting. I'll link this if you want to check this out with the variable aperture information, the new CPU, the new vapor chamber. I'm gonna just exclude this photo, it's incorrect, but I'll include this link in the video description here. And before we get out of here, let's discuss this new iPad. So Apple is going to put a new OLED panel in the new iPad mini 8. They're going to put an OLED, that's correct, they're going to put an OLED panel in the new iPad mini 8 before the new iPad Air. So you'll have OLED panels in the iPad Pro, and then OLED panels in the new iPad mini, while the iPad Air gets left out. Yeah, I don't get it either, but iPad mini 8 launch happening in the third or fourth quarter of 2026. Expect to pay more for that OLED upgrade, but it won't be the same as an iPad Pro display. So you are going to have to pay more. Obviously, it's going to have a really nice display on there, right? As you can see right there. But it's not going to be as much as the iPad Pro, obviously. That'll do it for the day. I do appreciate the time. Hope everybody has a good week. Please stay safe if you're going to hit the road and or fly. I wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.